let's see if we can create a new database. Now, for a new user, I'm recommending that you create a database that contains all the veneers that came with Image Paint so that you can start playing around with it, because otherwise, if you create the database that contain your physical material, you may mess it up before you have experience with using Image Paint. So the way to create the sample database I showed you earlier, it was to use this button and then select a storage node. Image Paint automatically interrogate your computer and figure out all the storage node that it wants you to create in. It try to hide the locations, the physical location of where your database is, to make it easier for you to manage from within Image Paint rather than go to your Window Explorer and create the database there. So it only gives you what it wants to for you to see. And in this case, it picked a couple of places that you can create the sample database, whether it's in the picture folder, the document folder, or some Google Drive folder. I have 2 Google Drive here. I can do that as well. It's good to have some storage that you have on the cloud so that later on you have 2 computers, you can share the same database and synchronize them. And Image Paint does a pretty good job of managing across computer database sharing. So, but we will talk about that in a later sessions. But right now, we just want to create one database from our local computer. So I'm going to select a document folder and give it a database name, my sample database. Now it asks me if I want to save the currently open database, because it detects that I've made changes to the sample database that I created earlier. So I'm going to save that, and then it go ahead and create the new.
And the way we knew that it detected changes was because the font was red, not green, correct?
Right, green. So now it came up with my sample database here. It start out green because we have not make any changes to it. All right, so let's. Okay, now it's successful. Once you see that it has successfully created a new database shown in green background, then you can safely close that window. So for the new user, I would recommend open one of these design that came with the software. Okay. Let's open something very simple like the dolphin. Right. So now we have the database open and we have only one inlay panel. So now you want to start painting these shapes with veneers and see how it works, and manipulate your paths so that you can see the updates immediately updates on your design. Okay, so it's very simple. You either move and rotate to the location you would like that shape to be and look at the results on the design. Okay. You do the same thing here. There's a tool here that allows you to sample an image, and that will automatically create the cutter path. I mean, this is the clipper path. Clipper path clips the image and replace it and place it onto the path in the design, which is called the master path. So we have master path, we have clipper path, and the image behind it is called the clipper image. You can also select the clipper image and replace it with another veneer as well. Okay, so if I click that and click another image swatch, then the whole design will be updated to the new veneer that you have. Now, by default, Image Paint will organize your veneers under the organizer section by color. Okay, if you take a look at the tab color, you can see that we have various shades of brown. We have this shades of brown and darker shades of brown, and then we have yellow veneers under the yellow tab, and then we have the orange, and then we have the dye veneer in a separate tab, and then we have the shell veneer in its own tab. Now you can also move these around as you wish by
Vincent,
just click and drag.
that organization that you just showed us was because that's how you had structured the virtual veneers, correct? That's not
Yes,
something
this
that
is,
automatically happens.
it doesn't automatically happen. It automatically happened only because it was configured that way for the sample database.
Great, thank you.
And when you create your own database, which we'll talk about it later, then I'll make some comments on that. All right, now let's move into the 3.2 features. If you notice that I no longer have the search tab, okay, I localize it into the organizer section, and in the manager tab, it would be in the categorizer section. And when you click this button, then it either show or hide the edit box that allows you to enter a text to search for certain veneers you want. Now, I like to display my species name so that I can see the species name there. Now, for example, if I'm looking for alder, so I just type A, and then it gives me all the materials starting with A. And if I keep doing this until I find the alder veneer, I see this
Hey,
alder.
Vincent,
Yeah,
because you seem in this example to only be searching the first letters, I notice in your naming convention you use Burl or Curl or others as a second name in
yeah.
veneer names. Can you search on
But
Burl,
funny
for
how
instance?
funny you asked that question, because currently the 3.2 version, I forgot to do that. But what you are looking at is the new version, the 3.3 version. So I'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
There is a wildcard character that you can use.
Oh,
For
good.
example, if I hit this wildcard character, it tells me that I don't care about the beginning, right? And then I type Burr.
Oh,
Then
that's
it's
great, Vincent.
Yeah, then it search for everything that has a Burl text in
Excellent.
the material name, right? So now, if I want to search for a specific species with Burl, then I need two words, right? Let's say I want redwood burl, so I say, okay, red, but I want also an @ sign. That would be the second search text.
A plus
That
sign or
would
an @
be
sign?
burl. So R plus burl,
Plus.
it gives you a red burl.
Very
Okay,
nice.
that is not currently available. 3.2. I just thought about it yesterday.
Very cool.
You can also do that in the designer tab under the organizer as well. And this is also operate the same way. So order, let's see, everything start with anything,
True.
and we have burl. Okay, there we have everything that start with that end with burl. Okay,
Very nice.
or contain burl, ash burl. Even though it doesn't end with burl, it doesn't matter, right? But the start can start with anything, right? Now, when you look at this, it's gonna search for everything burl, and then it display the first tab that contain the results, and the other tabs that contain the result will be highlighted in red. So you see tab 3 also have burl as
Oh,
well.
okay.
And then if you look down here, you have tab 9, I believe. Tab 9 also have burl. Okay.
Wow.
The other tab does not have burl, and they will be blanked out. Right. Now, if you close the search window, then it come back to normal. All right, that's the feature that I like a lot, because then it localizes to the organizer tab and the manager tab. All right, the next feature was the ability to add a digital label to your existing materials. Before we were able to create new material and have ImagePaint add a digital label. Digital label is a label that is digital and overlaid onto your material image, like this one here at the top left corner of your image. Now you also need to, of course, hand label it on your physical veneer so that you can identify when you pull out your veneer for cutting. But here we can view these already have digital label. If I look at that one, let's say that I want to update my label, then I just right click that and select overlay digital label. And the new label will be placed at the top left corner. And I can click multiple.
Wait, where did you edit that?
You can select multiple swatches, right click, and then select overlay digital label. And it will add the digital label for all these selected swatches. You see that?
Oh, so there wasn't a label before and you just
Yeah,
added it.
we just added a label to
Got it.
our images. Not just the name of the veneer showed up there, but also the size of veneer in inches. So this, in this case, a 5.6 inch by 12.4 inch.
Yeah, I kind
Okay.
of thought that was there before, no?
Before it was the feature was there only when you add new material.
Got it.
Okay, and one of our user wants to convert his old database to contain all digital labels. So that's why you see this
Smart.
this overlay digital label. Okay. The next feature I'm going to talk about is this. Let's create some cutter path for the laser. And do that by right click and choose create cutter path. And there is our cutter page containing the cutter path using the color that was specified for that material. Okay, this color will be recognized by the laser so that it will set up its power, speed, frequency, and number of passes accordingly to cut that piece of veneer. So what else we can do with this? We can, for example, let's create a few more veneers. Oops, this is virtual material. Okay, let's do this. Poly, and let's use some darker veneer. All right, so I have approximately 3 or 4 pieces of veneer. If you click the Use tab, you see all the veneers that are being used in your document, in your design. When time comes to pull out your veneer from your inventory, your physical veneer, and for cutting, you want to be able to create a list of veneers. Name. So I'm going to give this file name my my cut veneers or something like that. Okay, .text. And then it asks me if I want to open it. I click yes, and it open a text file that contain the laser cutting parameter for the Epilogue Mini 1830 watts. And we have all the materials that we need to pull with the dash number at the end. And it also lists out the power, speed, frequency, passes, and the thickness of that piece of veneer. Now,
Vincent, what's the use case that you created this feature for?
Okay, what I use this for is I would print this. I go to my inventories of physical veneers, and I'm gonna pull out these four veneers for
And so
cutting.
this is when you, in the past, have, let's say we go back to Milton's Ladies. He wants to do another one of those. He would reference this document to be able to pull the veneers, and he'd know the speed and power for each, even though it's inside the file when he reloads it. This is just a printed text version of that information?
Yes, this is printed information so that you know for that particular design what veneer sheets you need to pull out.
Yeah, this
Also,
is
for
kind of
some
like,
people, yeah, for some people, they don't have ability to use color mapping so that they can use the
right, right.
speed
And
and does it manually.
Vincent, just to draw a parallel that might be useful for you to think of, you probably know that inside of VCarve, you have the job sheets that essentially encapsulate in a printable form everything from what the vectors were, the woods were, estimated times, bits used, all that kind of a thing. So this seems like a simple version of that.
Of
You
that.
have a printed version of a job for a project.
That's right.
Okay.
And if you have any other information you want to include in here, let me know and I can add it quite
Okay, cool.
easily. Yeah.
Thank you.
One thing you want to note is if you choose some random font, it's the column is not going to be aligned. You need
Right,
to
right, right.
yeah, you need to choose a font that is a fixed font, and I like Courier font so that my column is not messed up. Courier.
So you use a Unispace font or something like that?
Yeah. So
Okay.
this will mess it up. In any case, let's forget about that for now.
Vincent, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, please.
It's Leo. For every new sheet you need to add it to the database. Every new sheet of veneer you buy.
Yes,
Is that how it works?
that's how it works.
What happens to the ones you've used? Do you delete them?
Oh, show them the marking. Yeah.
Okay, for example, let's say if I use, yeah, you can delete them. For example, if you go to the manager, you tap and you right click and you delete the material and it'll be gone forever.
Can I ask a simple work question? Would it be possible to mark what part of the veneer has been cut?
Yeah, the reason he's laughing is the fact that we do have the possibility of doing that. So
Leo, this is one of the coolest features. You're going to love it.
yeah.
Great, because otherwise you probably lose the sample on the database and you cut in the wrong place.
Yeah, just watch how this works. It's really great.
Yeah. So I right click Aspen Big Tooth right here under the use tab only. Okay. Use tab display for veneer that currently used in the design. And once I cut it, I right click it and oops, and update. Why does
You're not on a
update?
cutter.
There.
Look at that.
So this is the area that your laser cut, and it just filled with black ink, right?
Yes, it's not
And then
available
if
anymore.
you go to the design, you can see that the black ink is there, and then you can reuse that veneer. And once you're done with that veneer, then you can delete it permanently.
Yeah.
By right clicking it and delete the material. That
Great,
will
thank you.
remove it.
Thank you.
And if you make a mistake, you can always undo. Let's say I'm gonna undo the recover original. Just come back to the original.
You can only
Yeah.
undo once. And Leo, don't let him make you think that feature's been there a long time. It's probably been there for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, the undo feature is recently requested by the user who messed up their veneers because they
Like we
cut
all
in
have.
the yeah, we all do. We cut on one place and we update on at the different location and it doesn't match. And so I added this undo. So feel free to send requests for new feature. I would love to do that. Yeah. So that's what I do all day. Those are the new feature for 3.2.
Very
Okay, I'm
cool.
gonna pause and take questions.
I've tried, before I buy, I wanted to try it. Is that possible?
Yes, because it has a 30 days trial period, fully
Okay.
featured.
Yeah.
And you can try by having a sample database I explained before. You go in
Right.
here and create the sample database. If you go back and you can see how I did it. And
Yeah.
with the sample database, and you can start loading your sample design.
Yeah.
And then apply and then do the cutter path and so forth. You can actually cut with your laser, but since you don't have the physical veneer.
So Leo,
Yeah.
just to be clear, your trial, the easiest thing you can do is exactly what he said. Use his virtual veneers and use his design so you can get the entire workflow figured out. But when you output to a laser, since his virtual veneers are not in your personal inventory, you'd
Yeah.
be cutting on colored paper or some random veneer. Not until you add your veneers could you actually start doing the magic here, which is painting your images.
Yeah. So basically, I do the same thing. I go to the Amazon website and download the software, and then I can purchase it afterwards.
As long as you mean Amazon Canvas and not Amazon.com.
I know. I know. I don't think Amazon.com have it yet, but they
No,
will.
no,
I
but if you
don't
don't
think
have
so.
Corel Draw, that's a good place to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you go to Amazon Canvas and select Image Paint Standard for CorelDRAW,
Yeah.
there are two versions supporting 2019 through 2022 CorelDRAW, and the one that is latest is for CorelDRAW 2023.
Yeah.
Both Image Paint have the same feature for both those buttons,
Yeah.
so you can.
Leo, do you currently own Corel Draw?
I own 2019. Yeah.
Okay, good. So if you wanted to get the current version of the inexpensive one, which is the student teacher or the home student or something edition, it can be purchased for $120 on Amazon, and you would get the 2021 version.
Oh, is that possible? Because I hate the subscription model,
Yes.
and I'd like to own the piece of software. And
All of
obviously,
us from the
I'm not.
70s feel that way.
Sorry.
All of us from the 1970s feel that way.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's unfair. It's just well. But anyway, this is the way the world is going.
It
So
is, but they have that option.
That's good. So you can get it. You can get a what did you call it? A teaching software?
I'll look it up again and I'll tell you the exact name. Or actually, I put the link into. Oh, actually, are you going to do it, Vincent? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. It's called CorelDRAW
I
Standard.
think it's student. Yeah, try student 2021. There you go.
This is the one. Yeah, the essential. I'm worrying about the essential not having the editing capability
Yeah,
that the standard.
go back to Amazon.com.
Yes.
And then do your Corel Draw student.
Yes.
And then scroll. And there's your 109 right there.
Oh, I'm definitely going to get that. Thank you for that.
You bet.
That's a great
Those
buy.
are some nice additions in 3.2. For those of you who aren't regulars here, Vincent works on this all the time, and we get updates on versions every few weeks. So he has an automatic updating process now, which makes staying current very easy. Just always accept the update, and then we can learn about the details of that update on our call.
Yeah, on our weekly Zoom meeting, if there are updates, then I will go through them. All right, any other questions?
No, but let's be sure we ask Leo at some point in the future to talk about that posterization, because that is as a tool to help people get quicker to a result. That seems like a worthwhile skill for us to be exposed to.
Actually, I just while the session was on, I tried it, and just to be sure that I wasn't talking nonsense. Yes, it works. It works, and it works very well. And I was going to I clipped a picture of the girl with the glasses, not the one with the parted hair.
Yes.
And I was gonna post my own version of it.
Great. And Milton can be reached through the Facebook group if you want to get the original Adobe Illustrator file, for instance.
I don't know if you really need to. You can just copy it from the Facebook page.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, good.
Okay, yeah, that's all you need. All right.
Vincent, this is Mike.
Hi, Mike.
I have a very quick question. I noticed in looking at that Corel Draw Student Edition that you had up a minute ago, it had something that referred to that your education would be verified, or that you are a student, or something like that. How does that work?
So let me answer that. I have been purchasing this version for years, and I've been able to justify it in my mind because I am part of a woodworking group that is a 501c3. And that 501c3 is one of those groups that qualifies. However, I have never, ever been asked to verify anything. Okay? There is no verification process. It is meant for students, nonprofits. It's a way for them to sell to the marketplace a paid full version, but the way they differentiate is it's 2 years old, which is perfectly fine.
Right. I can see that if I click proceed to check out, it doesn't ask me anything other than check
Yeah, it does
out.
not.
pay,
I've done it
right.
a dozen times. It does not.
Thanks very much for clarifying that. I saw that and I didn't want that to be a
It will not be
a
an
problem.
obstacle. Yeah, it will not be a problem.
Looks like all they're interested in is getting your money.
Bottom line, yes. Vincent, this was great.
Thank you. So we can pause, or we can stop here and reconvene the next feature. I mean the next next session. We'll talk in more detail into various aspects of image paint in
Right,
CorelDRAW.
and guys, a lot of the agenda for today was drawn from the dialogue in Facebook. It's a good place for you to post your questions, show your work, just get into it. And we draw from that to figure out what to talk about. Milton happened to have placed the videos of his two ladies, and Mark happened to show the vacuum bed. So that was easy to choose as topics for this call so everybody can see it. If you have questions, etc., and you want to get them onto the agenda, just go to Facebook and comment there.
Excellent. I've been looking at CorelDRAW on Amazon.uk. I couldn't find the one that you pointed to on the UK version of Amazon. So I was wondering if we can purchase it through the .com Amazon in the UK.
Or you could move to the United States, your choice.
That's up to you, Leo. We have good weather in California here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I wish we could say the same here. It's been one of the worst years.
Yeah, well, we've certainly had our heat, but here in Southern California, it's been really fantastic.
Guys, it's been extremely nice to meet you all and to get to know what you're doing. I'm really pleased I joined this group, and thanks to Walid who introduced me to this. So great to meet you all, and thank you very much.